So in this video here, I've got a little driver head-to-head for you, and I've got the TaylorMade M4 Driver, and I'm going to put it up against the new Titleist TS2. So two drivers here, maybe similar in terms of head size, maybe the sort of play that it's looking for. Lots of forgiveness in both drivers, lots of sort of technology in terms of getting ball speed up across that club face for longer, straighter drives here. So we're going to put these two head-to-head. Let's see if one outperforms the other. For me personally, obviously this could be very different for you guys, which I always promote. You know, you guys go and get fit yourselves and obviously get it dialed in yourselves. But I'm going to give you a little bit of idea between TS2 and M4. Okay, so we're going to start off with M4 first. So obviously been a very popular driver from TaylorMade, twist face technology on here. We've got hammerhead on the bottom of the head, titanium carbon sort of mix here, so obviously a very different look to many other drivers on the market, but a look that I personally like. I think it's a great looking driver. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I do like this driver. I've got both these in X-Flex shafts, as similar as I can possibly get them. Both set up, well, both 9.5 heads, but I've got them cranked down just below 9 degrees here, which is a bit nearer to my spec. Let's get this first one hit. Yeah, nice opening tee shot there. So typical sound that I find with the M4 is that slightly more muted sort of sound with that carbon sort of top section there. It gives you that duller sort of sound, which I personally quite like, and I like the feel of these particular drivers. All the carbon sort of titanium mixed drivers I do like the feel of. Ah, that's a solid strike. Yeah, beautiful penetrating flight there. Again, love that sound. That should be quite a long shot there, really middle that one. Yeah, that's sort of 313, lovely there. So 286 carry, 313 total. That's spun around 2.3 mark. So some good numbers there straight away with M4. Okay, so that was a slight heel strike there. Just pull that up that left there. Did strike that off the heel. I'll say still a long shot there. I mean, that's still 311. Didn't really middle that. Have pulled that, granted. Now, obviously, with twist face there, with the heel being pulled more back, that in theory is going to start the ball more left and reduce less gearing. Now, I could have probably done with a little bit of help of that gear there. So, you know, whether twist face actually helped me there, or probably maybe possible disadvantage there to me, to be honest. So I think straight away there, the M4 is obviously showing off its forgiveness there. I mean, that definitely felt a heel strike, but look at those distance numbers, how it's controlling spin there, is, you know, it's showing how sort of forgiving this particular driver is. So I think obviously this becomes a bit of a popular one for a lot of golfers out there, M4, maybe against like its bigger brother in terms of the M3. But you've got hammerhead technology on the front section here, so this is going to help with sort of ball speeds across that face, but then no adjustability in terms of weight movement, so it just comes as it is, and obviously you've got neck adjustability to dial in the sort of face angle and loft. That's a lovely flight. Yeah, it does feel very low spin here, which I think is, I'd be interested to look at the spin numbers in a little bit more detail. But that's another long drive. This is getting out there massively, 316 there, and it does look really low spin, and I know, yeah, see that's 1700, which is great for me, and when I get that particular spin number there with my sort of delivering my speed, I know I'm going to get those 315 sort of shots. Now, maybe the dispersion's not quite as good here at the moment. I'm hitting a couple to the right, a couple to the left, but the length of it is absolutely no issues at all. Okay, so we're going to hit one more with M4 before we move on to the TS2. That's a good strike, very high ball flying there. Does look low spin. Just peel that up that right hand side slightly. Again, that's another one over that 300 mark, 304. So as I say, some right, some left, maybe dispersion wise a little bit hit and miss. That's probably more me than the actual golf club, obviously, but in terms of length there, all those over 300, some well into the teens there, which is very nice to sort of see. So let's move on to TS3 and see how that performs. This could be a bit of a test for TS2 here. Could be a bit of a test for it. Right, okay, so now I've got the new Titleist TS2. So as I'm shooting this video, very new to the market. from Titleist here, and obviously I think they've made, I've done some review videos here which I'll put a little link up and you can go and check that out a little bit more detail between TS2, TS3. So TS2, a little bit like D2, D3, but the head size is exactly the same now. So this is 460cc, slightly longer from front to back here. No carbon on this, but they have made the crown up to 27% lighter than the 917 range. So we're seeing some similar technology to the TaylorMade in terms of reducing weight, which I think we see with a lot of the brands now, to be honest. They're all reducing weight in the crown and obviously repositioning that. Again, no adjustability. There's a weight fixed at the back which can be altered through custom fit. Neck sleeve, I think the Titleist have a great neck sleeve here because they can really change loft and face independently here as well as lie. So let's get this first one hit. We're here with the TS2. It's got some work to do here to try and beat the distance anyway. Let's see if we can get a bit of accuracy with this one. That's a high ball flight. It's a different sound, it's a little bit of a different feel there. That felt really good. Wow, that's a good long one straight off the blocks here with TS2. So 316 yards. I think I did have a 316 with the TaylorMade there. That spun at 2-1. So great start TS3. I'm hitting these some bombers today. So I think the big thing that stood out for me when I reviewed and tested TS2 was the straightness of the face. We don't see as much curvature on the club faces than that Roland sort of bulge. And obviously we're putting against the M4, we've got twist face there, which is very, very subtle, to be honest. As you put that down, it's so subtle to actually see it. But obviously it's maybe the other extreme of bending the face around a little bit. So two very, very different drivers. But to be honest, this TS3 gives me the feel like I'm going to hit it so much straighter with that straight face. It doesn't feel like I can hit this offline. I'm probably going to prove that wrong now, but anyway, let's give this one a hit. Oh, it's a great ball flight. This is the one I got fitted for, to be honest, through my fitting session there. Definitely a higher ball flight, which I like, which helps me to get that ball up and launching. Spin control, that's 301, so not quite as long as that first one there, but again, decent sort of spin number and ball speed there. Now again, that's the biggest thing I think with the Titleist here is the consistency of the ball speed across the face, you know, from your drop off to your highest or your best strikes. The ball speed is very sort of tight there, and we'll have a look at those numbers again in a little while. That's good. Very neutral ball flight. Definitely seen some straighter shots there with the Titleist against the M4. It's the first one under 300 there, 296. Just felt like I came across that a little bit. Yeah, see, 3-1 spin. So there's my strike pattern getting a little bit low there. That's my bad strike in a way with the driver. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's still, you know, it's neck end of 300 there. So that doesn't worry me too much there. I think for me, the importance is really sort of accuracy with the driver. That's where I tend to struggle more with, is just trying to keep that ball in play more often. So accuracy, you know, those 316 tee shots are very nice, aren't they? I think we all like to hit that ball a little bit further, but I think ultimately I want to be finding that fairway more importantly than maybe that extra sort of 16, 20 yards of sort of distance. Yeah, it's a super sound to that. I say it's a different sound to the TaylorMade there, with that little bit more sort of tinnier sound. I mentioned this when I did the review against the TS3 and the M3. It's a little bit more of that metally, tinny sort of sound. Not loud by any means, but a very sort of powerful sort of sound. Well, obviously, this composite titanium mix is much more sort of muted. Another really straight neutral tee shot there. Really liking the accuracy of this TS2. Okay, so hit one more with TS2, and then we'll check some numbers out between these two drivers. Oh, feels really solid. Really solid. Just up that right side a little bit on that particular shot. Just killed my dispersion rings a little bit there, to be honest, that last one, which is a shame, but 308 felt really solid. Nice high ball flight again. Spin at 2.6. I think that spin number might a little bit higher with this particular club here for me. Probably against M4, definitely. But let's check some numbers out, a little bit more detail between those two drivers. Right, okay, let's look at dispersion rings to start with. So the white one is the M4, red is the TS2. So you see the TS2 much tighter. That last shot's just really let me down there, unfortunately, because otherwise they would have been like really sort of tight on the dispersion rings there. Obviously you can see some longer ones with M4, but also more left as well as right there, which we're going to have a little look at now. So let's look at the numbers here. So club head speed just under 115 M4, 115.7, so pretty much identical, smidge quicker with TS2, but not much in it. Ball speed 2 mile an hour quicker with TS2 there, so definitely something I saw through the fitting, a little bit more ball speed, but also quite a tight set of numbers there. So 164 ranging to 167. You can see that TaylorMade, that first one was 160. Big drop off there to 167. So bigger spread from miss hit to central strikes. TS2 a little bit tighter on that, which is great. Both launching at 12 degrees there, which is good. I like that sort of launch number for me particularly. M4, we saw some really good spin numbers. So that's slightly higher launch at 12. And a spin of 2.1, which was one of the reasons why that was carrying 285 running at 312. However, a little bit more ball speed with TS2. A little bit of a higher spin number there. As I say, one struck a little bit low in the face there. Ball speed was great for that low face strike there. Again, backing up the TS2 in terms of speed right across the club face. So 2.6 spin. Peaking at 39, so it's much higher there. Again, if we can just control that spin a little bit, maybe drop the loft a touch as well. But 284, 306, so not running out as much there. Carry very similar, but not running out as much as M4, probably because of that spin number. Okay guys, so TS2 and M4, two really good drivers. Obviously M4's been very popular. TS2 I think is going to be a really big hit there. I think definitely Titleist have upped the game there. Enjoying that ball speed that TS2 is giving. In terms of looks there, I'll equally like both of these looks. I do really like that straight face on TS2. I've said it a few times now, and it feels like I can hit it straight, and that sort of proves it a little bit there as well. I got a little bit more control with TS2. Just that last one just let me down a little bit there, because TaylorMade had a 30-yard right miss, but I also had a 30-yard left miss. Now obviously that'll average out at 0 there, but obviously a 30 right and a 30 left isn't great actually on the golf course, where TS2 was 10 yards left was my worst one, but 36 right, which was that last one that just let me down a little bit there. So a tighter sort of dispersion ring there, which was what we saw. Sound wise, I prefer TS2, a little bit more explosive sounding. Like that straighter face, enjoying that ball speed, but I like that spin number of that M4 to be honest. In terms of that, you know, getting that little bit more distance. But I think for me, accuracy is much more important. So I'll probably go TS2 on that particular test there. Just purely the accuracy, the looks, the feel. I enjoyed that. I don't mind giving up that sort of 6 yards total distance. That doesn't interest me at all, really. You know, 300's plenty anyway, so that isn't really a big sort of worry for me. So hitting fairways is a more of a priority. Okay, let me know your thoughts, guys. Comment down below between these two drivers, M4 TS2. Who's enjoying this new TS2? There's a lot of good reviews out there. I think a lot of guys are rating this driver here, so it'd be interesting to see what you guys maybe think if it's on the radar. Have you got M4? Is TS2 something you may want to sort of pitch against it like I've done here? It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. Comment down below. Obviously hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Very much appreciate the support. Follow my social media platforms all in the description down below. Hit the thumbs up button, share the video around, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all very soon.